Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show. This is the Two Dumb Yinzers,
Yes, it is.
and this is episode 507. And I see Derpy. Derpy's trying to clock in. I think that's what's going on with my screen, like because I usually see myself and you, and then it
Yeah,
turned into two of me. Now I see two of me, and I don't see you. But whenever I shrink my screen, now I see Derpy. So everybody's here. It's all that counts.
everyone's here. That's all that matters.
Everyone's here. Good morning, Derpy.
Derpy,
I guess Derpy has bad diarrhea, so he's going to be a little
he's gonna be
A little,
coming and
little
going.
off. Yeah, yeah. He may have to. Yeah, that might be it. He might have to go. Good morning, everybody. Yeah. Welcome back. Oh man, Mike, I'm glad you fixed your ticker today.
Yeah. Like I proofread that thing, and I don't know what happened yesterday.
We could totally use your help.
Until he used your help, I'm like, ah, god dang it.
And then there's like words that were like all crunched together and everything else.
Yeah,
Like,
I had to space it
oh,
back out. I was doing everything like last minute yesterday, rushing.
it looks good though. I like it.
Yeah,
Like when I went back, it certainly has an effect that you're watching the show,
yeah.
and looks good, man.
I just got to think of more stuff to add to it.
Yeah, no, it looks good. I yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm here.
Guys, I don't know if anybody's buying anything off of this, but I just read yesterday, as a matter of fact, that the Timu app that seems to come standard on all phones now. Apparently, there's a lawsuit claiming shopping app Timu gives company access to literally everything on your phone, according to Channel 11
No way.
WPXI. Everything on your phone is given access to Timu if you commerce with them.
I did not know that. I
I
don't use the
didn't.
Timo app, so I'm good.
I was a bit skeptical and a bit suspicious of this app to begin with. I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, it's very peculiar. I mean, just a lot of things about it almost seem too good. Why
Yeah.
why wouldn't you buy a $4 TV from Team? You know what I mean? Even if it's not going to work, it's a $4 TV. But just things like this made me awfully skeptical of the whole Timu thing. And then also, like I said, every phone I bought, the past two phones I bought, it's already installed on the phone.
Timu's taking over, man. They're trying to take over Amazon, it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, how far is that going to go with people knowing now that they give everything on your phone? Like,
Yeah, well, a lot of people just don't care anymore. They're like, okay, yeah, whatever.
you know what? And I fear that's the case. And and that's scary because, like, seriously, I mean, everything on your
Yeah.
phone, it's not just one thing or another. It's everything on your phone they have access to.
You know what? Yeah, at this point, just take it. Just take it.
You
Be
know, I want
priority of my.
I watch a lot of
If they improve my credit score, go right ahead.
I watch a lot of dirty movies. I don't know. I just there's some things I don't want the Chinese to know. You know.
The NSA already knows. Might as well the Chinese know it too.
Yeah. Derpy, you here?
There we go.
There we go. Holy shit, you're alive.
Yep.
How you feeling, man?
Derpy has made it into the building.
Derpy is in the house, everybody. How you
I'm
feeling,
appearing
man?
twice on the show.
I see that. I don't know what's going on with the screen today.
You're
Like
not
you,
on my screen, so that's all that matters. I don't have to look at them. I'm good.
I see two of Derpy, and that's it.
I see nothing of Derpy, so I'm happy. I
Hmm,
just hear Derpy. That's all I need to do. I just need to hear Derpy.
I know.
Like when White Man can't jump. You can listen to Jimmy, but you can't
It's
hear Jimmy.
no, it's nothing like White Man Can't Jump. But yeah, no, I get the reference. I like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there you go, everybody. If you're shopping at Temu, you're putting everything in your phone at risk to be shared and taken and used or whatever people do with your information. I don't know. Also, guys, Lord Jacob Rothschild dies at age 87. Now he's one of these creepy old dudes that you see every time that people get they get all conspiracy theory-ish and they start talking about, the
Oh, the
power,
Rothschilds.
the,
Oh,
the
okay.
Rothschilds. Yeah. So Lord Jacob Rothschild dies, guys,
Yeah,
age 87.
87 under mysterious circumstances.
Yeah.
Yeah, at 87, mysterious.
Suicide, shot himself in the back of the head 3 times. Shit.
Well, jumping out the window.
Yeah. Built some Clinton shit.
Now that's some KGB stuff.
That's how you could go back and look at all those people that died under the Clinton administration. There are all these bizarre,
Yeah, no,
bizarre
they've killed everyone. We can't
yeah.
find any evidence, but they did it. They
But
must
no,
be master criminals, and
no,
they're the
they
greatest criminal
are, because
masterminds
there's a
of all
lot, Mike,
time.
that's documented that, like I said, they have multiple gunshot wounds to the back of their head, and it's considered suicide and shit like this. And I
Ooga booga,
they're all fucked up, man.
ooga booga. The Clintons are out to get you
Thinking, damn right they are.
for one bad land deal in Arkansas. They became criminal masterminds.
Hey, that's where they all
That's how
end
the
up.
ball got rolling.
That's how they all end up, is in Washington D.C. That's where all the criminals go. I don't care who you are, what side they are, what color, what race. I don't trust any of them.
This is Ryan's campaign kickoff.
Well, yeah, we do. We have campaign kickoff. Oh, it's gonna get real interesting this year, especially when shit starts popping off, man. I promise you, this is gonna be a crazy year. I promise. But until then, I got a new addiction. I
What is
discovered.
this?
Well, I discovered. Now I've always known about this person, but now I'm oddly intrigued and fascinated by Tiny Tim, singer, and you might recognize his greater, more familiar songs from TikTok. Tiptoe to the window. That dude. Go watch some Tiny Tim videos. You're gonna be oddly fascinated with them. I really believe this. He's uh he's strangely genius if you really watch him, because Tiny Tim was way out of his element, and especially for the time that he was famous and out doing Tiny Tim things. It was way outside of his time. He's a real ugly dude. He's like an ugly or Weird Al Yankovic, basically.
Yeah. I'm looking at the picture now. Yeah.
And he gets up on stage and it's so awkward, and you could feel the way people are looking at him, just because he's so weird, and he gets up there and he kind of smiles with this crazy weird smile. Then he sings like this, and it's, I don't know, there was something that is it's fascinating about this Tiny Tim, and I don't know why I've ever thought this or seen this, or it never crossed my mind. But I was doing some work, and that one song on TikTok, "Tiptoe to the window," was on. I thought, who the fuck? What is this? What is this insaneness? What is this madness? And sure enough, it's Tiny Tim
Tiny Tim. Ryan's new obsession that's going to last 3 weeks.
with his
I'm going to have to hear about it every day.
with his ukulele. Yeah, and the fact that, like I said, there's no appeal to the guy. He's not a good looking guy. It isn't like, famous people nowadays. You got to be like real good looking. The dude's the ugliest guy I've ever seen in my life, and he doesn't. And his talent is so bizarre and odd. And some would probably say it's not good at all. But I think, almost like Bob Dylan, you have to take the genius of it
And run with it.
and run with it, and let it sink in, let it grow on you like mold.
Like mold. He said like mold.
The Tiny Tim, there it is. That's my new fascination.
Oh my God.
Who would have thunk I would have discovered Tiny Tim this year? But there it is.
That was not on my bingo card.
We're gonna make a whole song for the for the show, like a whole entrance song, and it'll be in the Tiny Tim voice.
No, I will not play
No.
it.
No, I'll do it on my end.
I'll mute you.
No, then I'll pop back in somewhere else, and I'm gonna play that shit. You wait, and it's gonna be about Mike and his head, and I don't know. It's gonna be great. I'm working on it. New project
Killing me, Smalls. Killing
coming
me.
soon.
Oh God.
Yeah. Come on.
I hate you so much.
Mm, Combine, guys. Guys are showing up this week for the NFL Combine in Indianapolis, Indiana. At
I can't wait. It's
Lucas
like
Oil Stadium.
There's so many questions.
And right now, everybody's kind of checking in, doing their thing, getting there, getting
yeah,
settled
like
in.
yeah, interviews, medical, and I think excuse me, I think believe drills start I think they start Thursday.
I
When the
got the
actual
whole
drill starts
schedule.
third.
We're gonna go over here in a second.
Oh, my
The
bad.
Oh, you're good, man. They're getting there. They're showing up. It's gonna go a couple positions a day through the weekend. It's going to start, as Mike said, on Thursday. The defensive linemen and linebackers, in case you're going to watch, I'm sure it's going to be on NFL Network. I wouldn't imagine in a million years that it's not going to be ran
Oh
on
yeah, it'll
NFL
be on the
Network
NFL Network, baby.
24/7, basically, with coverage and that. But the defensive linemen and the linebackers, they'll be doing their thing on Thursday. On Friday, the defensive backs and tight ends will be at it. Something that we might want to keep an eye on with the
Oh yeah.
DBs.
Yep.
Saturday will be quarterbacks, running backs, and wideouts. And then finally on Sunday, the offensive line, something else we should be interested in. And then place kickers and special team players.
Yeah.
Imagine going to the combine as a special team player,
Right.
But
We're drafting a kicker in the third round.
No, we're drafting a punter, baby.
No,
punter.
Drafting no punter. Get out of here.
I guarantee you, we're going to draft the punter in the 7th round.
Yeah.
Out of Iowa. That's what every mock draft I see like fans do. There's this punter from Iowa that we're drafting.
And that's why we're not going to do it. I think
Yeah.
too many people are saying it. And I don't know. I just
no, don't waste any more draft picks on punters. That was like
yeah,
Colbert
come on. You see how that
thing.
worked out with
Yeah.
or with Presley Harvin. I mean, that's
Yeah.
like I said, with the exception of like what the Raiders did when they drafted Sebastian Janikowski. You don't see kickers getting taken in the draft often because they're not. Kickers are dime a dozen. They really are. And in the top between the best and the next level down, I just think you're better off. You're going out and get yourself a free agent and
yeah, that's the way to go. Like, don't unless you said you're getting like a Sebastian Janikowski or a Justin Tucker. Don't.
And the guy was a first round draft pick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so, in that same draft, I think they drafted Shane Leckler in the 3rd.
Yeah,
both were great at what they did. They both should probably end up being in the Hall of Fame, but you don't want to waste it.
I was looking at something else. Who did I? Maybe that Chris Jones. Somebody that there was a couple possibilities of places he may go. One of them was Chicago. One of them was one of these other places. Why does players still continue to go to Chicago? I mean, they must just take this money and throw it at these guys.
Yeah, that's what it would be.
I mean, there's no expectations,
No, because you already got your rings at that point. If you're Chris Jones, cash in at that point.
Yeah. And then, he'll disappear into obscurity because, he'll be a defensive tackle on the Chicago Bears. You're not going to,
you're not going to do much. You're not going to do anything there.
Because even who was the linebacker that went to Baltimore, Roquan Smith?
Yeah.
You knew he was good, but when he was in Chicago, if he would have stayed there, it would just kind of dwindled off into the sunset eventually. You just don't get that attention when you're in Chicago. Nobody cares about you. The team's never good. But I would like to see him go somewhere better, different than that.
Yeah, like somewhere to where he can still compete for another like Super Bowl, but on a different team.
But the other one of the thing that made me think this was one of the other teams on the list was the Raiders, and that's another one of them teams.
Yeah,
you kind of basically go there and just sizzle out your career. You don't really,
And why would you go to your division rival?
Yeah. Speaking of which, the Steelers, they did sign outside linebacker Jeremiah Moon, who's a former Baltimore Ravens linebacker. There must be something about this guy because I must have read or seen about 600 different articles over the past couple of weeks. They picked him up off of waivers in late January. Jeremiah Moon, the outside linebacker from the Ravens. They signed him to a 1-year, $915,000 deal. Now, it just seems weird to me because with that kind of money, it doesn't seem like they expect too much from the guy.
Yeah.
And what did they make it such a big deal then? Is it just because we're getting a Raven? Maybe it's almost like the slapping back of them picking up a steal. The Arthur Millette. It just has a weird vibe to it, man.
No, I don't know why. I think because every time a team does something, they do have to announce it. at least on their website, and then then all the fans on Twitter pick it up, so it just gets blown up everywhere.
I mean, for the guy
On
to be
there,
nothing. I mean, we've seen what Ren, whatever that guy's name was,
yeah,
Renell Ren. I've seen his name come across the board a million times over
yeah,
the past year for getting signed, getting dropped, getting picked up, getting cut.
yeah. Because
Nobody.
every time you do a roster move, the teams have to
But what
announce
I'm
it.
saying is nobody cares about.
Yeah,
Nobody thought twice about Renell Ren. It's like, oh,
no,
this is just one of them moves. But I gotta say that this Moon,
the fans are eating it up.
Jeremiah
I
Moon,
think you hit it on the head. People are eating it up because he was a Raven.
I think that's what it is.
That's all it is. He's
Is
nothing
this
special.
like a haha? You got our Arthur Millette last year. We got your
Yeah, we got this guy right here. He
Jeremiah
has
Moon.
like 4 tackles.
That's what I'm saying. And he's an outside linebacker, which makes sense. You would bring a guy in for depth at that position.
Yeah,
I don't know what they're going to do with Marcus Golden. I think they had to hang on to him. But for a guy that has 3 or 4 I mean, it doesn't make much sense. And for that money, you can't be expecting much from him either. So
no.
again, it's kind of an oddball move
Yeah,
that people
yeah. I think it's just going to be a depth piece. Someone to like, if he has something, okay, we'll keep him maybe on the practice squad in case of emergency. But I don't think he's not going to be a key backup.
right. I'll be surprised. Exactly. I'll be surprised if this guy sees the field with the numbers he has.
Maybe hey, you never know. Special teams.
Um, what else? What else? T. Higgins was franchised by Cincinnati. Interesting move there.
Oh, he was officially franchised.
Yes. So if you're expecting T. Higgins to land on your sidelines this year, play football, that's not going to happen. Also, Mike, the other day we were talking about the possibility of Mike Evans showing up, in Kansas City. The
Mm-hmm.
Steelers are another team on the list of possibilities for Mike Evans.
I'll take it.
I would, dude, if you could
I
have
would
Mike
take
Evans,
it.
oh, Turpy, if you could have Mike Evans on one side and George Pickens on the other side, and a quarterback throwing, anything better than what the quarterbacks have thrown the past couple of years, we're pretty deadly. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you gotta think if George Pickens was on a team that had a consistently good quarterback, he would be way, way
Oh yeah.
better than what he is as far as numbers goes. He's just dying. And then you get a guy opposite side of George Pickens, somebody like Mike Evans. That opens up the game a little bit more for one of those two guys, depending on how teams play you.
Yeah.
So that could be such a huge improvement for a team like the Steelers. I said, but
And
at the end of the day, it's going to come down to the quarterback play. And I got to say, I don't know what to expect yet. I don't. I'm seeing more and more and more shit keep coming out about Russell Wilson and about this. You expect those things to start dying off if they weren't going to happen. There's like conversations, that are happening that I thought, this should have been talked about for about a month now. But I
I
thought,
would you
I
get
wouldn't be upset.
you get Russell Wilson because he's talking like he will take the vet minimum to play. If you're able to get that and the numbers that he put up last year, that's a bargain. And then if God, you land an actual stud in free agency in Mike Evans. Yeah, he's on the downside of his career, but he's still a damn good receiver. That's a win in the offseason right there.
Russell
Because that,
Wilson,
that hides a lot of warts on your offensive line.
the Russell Wilson though, he only has like a 13-21 record over the past 2 seasons, which our quarterbacks who aren't throwing the touchdowns that he is have a way better record than Russell Wilson has over the past 2 years. And you know what? Denver was pretty decent. They had, the beginning of the year, they started off shitty. They
Eight
got
and
beat by
nine.
75 points, and then they had a pretty good year. They had potentially was going to make the playoffs if a couple of things would have happened, went their way. And people might say, well, if he played on a good team, I don't know any good teams in Pittsburgh. So, right now,
Eight
I don't know if that would matter to
three
anybody.
66% completion percentage, 3,000 yards, 26 touchdowns to 8 interceptions.
But he can't win though.
I'll take that.
His record is terrible. I mean, you want a worse record if the guy gets better stats?
Well, you got a defense giving up 35 points in a loss, 70 points in
Yeah.
a loss, 31 points in a
Mike,
loss, 42
we're
points in a
overlooking
loss,
our defense
26
gives up.
points in a loss.
We're overlooking the fact that our defense gives up 40 points a game in playoff games. We definitely don't have a great defense.
But I'm just saying, in those losses, those defenses gave up a lot of points, and That's not on him.
I got to tell you though, San Fran scored a lot against us. Texans scored a lot against us. Most teams that beat us
Yeah.
scores a lot against us as well. So again, I
But
mean, is he? I don't know.
looking looking at his like stat lines though, they're a whole hell of a lot better than the three quarterbacks we had last year. So
But again, would you do you want to trade good stats for a worse record?
I
That's
don't
what.
think we I think we trade better stats for a comparable record
How does that
or
make
even
sense? The
better.
guy hasn't won over 2 years. He has the 13-21 record.
It's a team stat too. He can't go out there and play defense.
Like we're again, but our defense certainly shits the bed too. And
I'd rather have our defense than the Broncos defense.
I don't know. So we'll
I,
see.
I'd rather have them than I'd rather have Russell Wilson than Mason Rudolph and Kenny Pickett and Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see, Mike. We will
I'll
see.
take them. I'll take them.
I just think to myself, I would love to see him come here and put up 36 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. But again, I don't want to compromise wins either, which our guys find ways to win football games. So
But
it's
there's no
I
margin
get
of
your
error
point. I
on
get
the
your
offense,
argument.
though.
I get your argument. They what?
But there's like zero margin for error, like with the quarterbacks we have.
Yeah,
You have to keep it close.
we don't know how to play. Yeah, we'll see.
Right. But we are 9-2 in one score games last year.
We were 9-2. You're right.
But how long can you ride that out? But we've been doing that for about 2
These
years now.
quarterbacks we have, that's
It's
they're winning.
but I want better than that. I want
You want better stats. That's all.
I want
I want
I
the
want
win.
better stats that will lead to better victories.
That's not guaranteed though. The one thing that we do know is these quarterbacks find ways to win. But again, I understand your argument, and we will see.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So again, the combine starts Thursday. I'm very interested to watch to see how this plays out, guys. You're definitely going to want to watch the days there's going to be positions of interest, defensive line. You know what? But pretty much every day, defensive
Just about
line
every day.
linebackers, because we're in need there. On Thursday, defensive backs, tight ends. Friday, running backs, wide receivers, quarterbacks. So pay attention if you're a Steelers fan. Going to be a lot of good players. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch what these guys do.
Yeah, especially like my guys who aren't going to be your first rounders. This is the time to find those guys that you're going to second, third, fourth round, fifth round guys. It's the combine to see who's putting up who has the ability that you're really not seeing on tape. But this is like also the dangerous time too. You get someone like a Mike Mamula, you blow up the combine, he rides up the draft boards. Then it turns out you can't play football. You can just run drills.
Right. I was reading through today. I was reading through some of the questions that the intelligence test they do for the combine. And I was going to make one of the questions, the trivia question. Dude, they're way too easy. There's no way that some of these guys that don't do well on this test don't do well. I'm going down the list. There's probably about 100 questions. And it's basically just shit that you have to think. That's all.
Yeah.
If
and it's time too and everything.
And you have 300. Say you have 300, and you and you cut that in half, and then multiply that by 3, and then add 7, and it gives you 4 choices. And I thought there's no possible way that anybody could fail this. But you know what? There's guys that have trouble with the intelligence test.
Yeah.
So,
but they can go out there and ball. Like CJ Stroud was supposed to be like a drooling.
Yeah, but you
idiot.
see with some of these dummies though. I mean, come on, you're out there making bad, dumb plays in big game situations, and that's what I think when it really matters.
Yeah, but like when that test last year, apparently CJ Stroud should have had like a rag to wipe the drool off his face. You hear him in interviews, dude's smart, thoughtful, intelligent, and then you watch him play. Like some of these tests don't matter.
But you know what? That's one person. I know a lot of dummies also that don't make the league because they're dumbasses. Matter of fact, I know a couple personally that didn't make the league because they're pretty stupid. But you know what? I was going to do it, but I refused. I thought there's no way I'm going to insult the intelligence of the people on the show.
Oh, I would have failed that test.
I
would have choked.
No, you wouldn't have, guys.
I would have choked under pressure. I would have overthought the whole entire situation.
Well, we'll do it. We'll do it tomorrow. We'll do the whole test tomorrow.
Oh God, no.
Oh God.
Now, you guys will cheat.
I will too.
I know you will. I did see the fight, the video, the Cam Newton fight. It was so bizarre. Like you said, he's 8 feet tall. But them guys were wailing on him, and I thought this is where you get into problems. As I mentioned with Jason Kelsey when he was shirtless and drunk up in Buffalo. You get with regular people in regular situations, and
Yeah.
they start hitting on you. Now you have there's a big liability here because for one, you're a multimillionaire, and all you got to do is look at somebody the wrong way, and and then they're suing you. I just think that's a real sticky situation, especially for somebody like Cam Newton and his money. And I mean, it was an all out brawl.
He 3-on-1. He handled himself well.
And let's say somebody gets clocked in the nose and gets their nose busted. Some way it's going to come back to he's somehow responsible, and it's his event. And
Yeah.
I that's why I'm always skeptical of that. And I was kind of with Jason Kelsey, I thought the same thing. I thought, man, that's kind of a crazy move. Once you're out there with the people, it's a whole different game.
Mhm.
You can't trust the people.
You can, but did you notice his hat did not move?
I don't know. There was so much going on. I couldn't tell. I like I said, those guys were really wailing on him. I thought, what did he do? What did you do, dude?
Did you guys ever watch him play football? This is what he did, man. He had
Yeah.
5 people on him laughing.
All the football players, though, it's Cam Newton.
I don't know if he was laughing, but he was sort of he was getting.
He had holding one dude 3 guys off and punching them all at the same time. It was wild.
Definitely. Yeah, I didn't.
He's a
I seen that.
beast.
I didn't see any laughing, but I definitely seen a lot of people flying, moving around, fists flying through the air, people getting clubbed. And then finally, the security runs in about 30 seconds after in the video. I'm thinking, fuck,
Right?
where were they at? Where were they at the whole time?
They're like his offensive line in the Super Bowl. Day late, dollar short.
They sure weren't keeping an eye on Cam Newton.
No, they weren't. They're checking out all the hot moms there.
They come running into the screen with their security shirts on. I thought, fuck, where have you been? Where have you been?
Right.
This is what you're here for. Biggest comeback next season, guys. Any of these players going to be your comeback player of the year? We have Aaron Rodgers, Joe Burrow, J.K. Dobbins, Nick Chubb, Trevon Diggs, Christian Gonzalez.
Oh, yeah.
And Anthony Richardson. Who has the biggest comeback season next year?
Oh, yeah.
Aaron Rodgers, Joe Burrow, J.K. Dobbins, Chubb, Trevon Diggs, Christian Gonzalez, Anthony Richardson. I know that most people are going to say Joe Burrow, but don't be afraid to be creative.
It's going to be Aaron Rodgers. That's all anyone's going to talk about.
I'm going Dobbins or Chubb.
But you know what? Aaron Rodgers was all that everyone talked about this year, and he lasted all of 8 seconds. You know what I mean? You think Aaron Rodgers will be the guy? You think he'll be comeback player of the year?
I think so, yeah. Unfortunately.
Would you say Derpy, Nick Chubb?
Dobbins. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good pick too. I mean, they're all good possibilities. It's really going to take somebody like
Kirk Cousins, maybe.
Kirk
Cousins could be.
Yeah.
He's an affable fella. People love him.
And that's with Kirk Cousins. It all just depends where he lands. You know what I mean? I think there's a lot of potential for him to have a great season if he, if he has the right pieces around him.
What's the board say?
I don't know. Mike's just laughing to himself. There's
Mike sounds like Phoebe when she was sick and could sing well with a raspy singing voice.
Now why ain't I getting anything on the board?
Yeah, refresh your YouTube.
Oh, holy shit. King Turd.
Great name.
I love it. Good morning, Brian. Good morning, King Turd. King Turd in the window.
Oh my God. I hate you.
Guys, these are according to the Pro Bleacher Report. The Pro Bleacher Report. These are the top 9 helmets in college football. You ever wonder who has the nicest helmet? Who has the coolest helmet? These, according to the Football Bleacher Report, is your 9 top helmets in the college football, guys. You ready for this, Derpy?
I'm ready.
Let me start at number 9 and I'll work my way up. Number 9, North Carolina.
Really?
Yeah, they have the white helmets with the blue UNC or whatever it is they have going on. That's
surprising.
That's the 9th best helmet in college football according to Per Bleacher Report. I'm sorry. Number 8, Arkansas. Arkansas is the
Really?
8th. Yeah. Number 7, Miami. Miami Hurricanes. 6, Oregon. Oregon.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
But the thing about Oregon, they have different helmets every week.
Yeah.
And one day they're
Exactly.
shiny. One day they have a mirror on it. One day they're. I dig. I like the whole. I like what they're doing. Number 5, Pitt. I've heard this before. Pitt. Number
I don't
4,
see it with
Yeah.
and that's expected. So I'm just going to keep moving on. But a lot of people do say, a lot of people do say that it's a pretty helmet. Number 4, Florida State. Florida State.
Yeah.
Seminoles. Number 3, Florida, the Gators. Number 2, Notre Dame. You knew that one had to be up there. And number 1, guys, I'm surprised by this. Ohio State.
Ugh,
Really?
Yeah. That's according to the
ugly.
Bleacher Report. So Ohio State.
Oh, there's no Penn State in there.
Penn State literally is a blank piece of paper. You can't have that in there.
Like it's
They used to have the number on the side back in the day, like when Franco played. I would have dug that a little bit more, but it's like
I know Alabama, no Penn State, no Michigan.
I'm surprised.
those are
Yeah, I'm
ugly.
surprised on that.
Oh, Michigan?
Yeah, that they're not in there.
Yeah, that's a like iconic helmet. It's very pretty.
Mm.
No, it's not.
But hey, you know,
I know. Is that pretty?
Pitt football got something going.
Pitt football has more Hall of Famers from the NFL than almost every other team that plays in the college ranks. So yes, they do have a lot going for them. But the helmet's pretty. Guys, the teams in the NFL with the least amount of cap space. Did you see this list, Mike?
Oh yeah.
I did not.
Mike, you're being very difficult today. I noticed.
It's like with my throat.
You're being a pain in the ass.
It's hard. I'm hard. It's hard to talk. I'm
All
not trying
right.
to be difficult. I'm
Oh,
not trying to
you're-
be short.
I did not see this.
You didn't say okay. So this is the teams with the least cap space this offseason. Of course, everybody knows that the ceiling got raised for the salary cap, but this, guys, is the teams with the least amount of cap space. Top 10 teams. The number 10th team with 8.1 million is the Green Bay Packers. Number 9 is the Steelers with 7.3 million in cap space. 8, the 49ers with 834,000. Number 7, the Cleveland Browns, a negative 6.2 million. Cowboys, a negative 8.1 million. At number 5, the Broncos, a negative 10.7 million. Number 4, the Chargers, negative 22 million. The Dolphins, number 3, negative 38 million. Number 2 is the Saints, 40 million. And the Buffalo Bills sit at number 1 with negative 41.7 million, Mike.
Ouch.
That's a big ouch.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Steelers, though, I know they can create a lot of cap space real quick.
Oh, they sure can. Well, will they, though?
Omar Khan cooking.
The con artist.
He'll figure something out.
What do you think about Omar Khan? What do you think Omar Khan feels about somebody like Cam Hayward? I mean, you know, the Omar Khan's not a dumb guy. He looks at he watches the game. He sees the amount of production compared to other guys in the league that play that position that are top guys that make good money. You know, how do you think somebody like Omar Khan feels, being in that position? And, is this just going to be one of these, it is what it is. He's a veteran. We're just going to let him play it out, keep his money. How do you think, how would you handle this, Mike?
There has to be like a restructure of some sort going on if he wants to keep playing. They might do like the extension, sign him to like a 1-2 year extension just to spread out his dead cat money for when because this might be his last year. And if they want to keep him on the team, if they think he has some value, that's what they're going to have to do. And that's what Omar Khan's going to have to figure out is either cut him because it sounds like he's not going to take a pay cut. So if you cut him, you save between dead money and cap savings about $10 million. I'm doing that right there.
Absolutely.
or you can trade him, see if someone will trade for him. That's what I would do.
If I was sitting in
We
that
haven't won
office
anything with him. Might as well get rid of him.
and I was talking about this with people, it would come to my mind that this is a 35, going to be 36-year-old man during this
Yeah.
upcoming season, a defensive lineman on a team that you need to get pressure, or you need something to
Yeah.
have at that position. Whether it be pressure, whether it be, scheming for other people. It had. I just, Mike, I'm not happy to say it. I'm not, thrilled to say it, but I think he has to go.
He has to go. Like
He
we
has to
used
go.
to like all the time. We back in the day, we had no problem getting rid of players once they hit a certain age, certain, we're gonna let you go. Yeah, you might have a year left in the tank, but guess what? After that, you're gonna be done, and we don't want that. Now that's what we have to get back to. I mean, my God, we did it to Joey Porter, who won 2 flipping Super Bowls. This guy has like 1 sack in the playoffs in his entire career. I'd rather, be gone like we did a legend who actually did something for this team. Like
And it
Joey
isn't like you're
Porter
going to
did.
see a big drop off
You're
because
not.
if you lose him and get a younger guy who's going to be more aggressive, more willing to try to make the team, he's going to be trying to really prove. Where Cam again, there's sometimes he's happy with falling on two guys or falling on the pile 2 times during the
To
course
get
of the
his
game.
tackles.
I feel that things could only improve by getting rid of Cam Hayward,
Yeah,
dude.
me too. You're gonna get yeah, you might have some, bumps along the road with a younger guy that you pick up free agency or in the draft, but I'd rather have that than
You're
what we're
right.
getting from Cam because what
Because you
what
know what
Cam
you're going to get
has
with
is what
Cam.
has. But like you have someone young, they're gonna, potentially be better in the long run, and I'd rather have that.
You're right.
I don't
Cam's
know what
just a
it
name
is
at
with.
this point. It's
Yeah,
almost like what the Penguins are doing.
exactly. That's what I was about to say. There's this thing now in Pittsburgh where everyone has to stay until they want to go and retire. No, that's reserved for a
No.
select few. This team forced Troy Polamalu to retire,
Yeah.
but we're not going to force Cam Hayward to retire. Defensive Player of the Year, 2-time Super Bowl winner. We're going to make you retire. This guy, oh, you're good with the media. You know what to say. Yeah, just keep playing forever, even though your defenses have given up 40 points in the playoffs on average.
Yep.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
Yep.
I don't know why he's held up in such high regards of like with Troy, with
I
James
don't know if
Harrison,
there's
with
any
Joey
team
Porter. I don't get
that's
it.
having as bad of a run playoff wise as the Steelers are. What was it? The last 7 games they're averaging 38,
Yeah,
whatever. It was
like
something
30 some odd
crazy.
points.
Has
Yeah.
has anybody have
No, no. It's unprecedented.
it really is.
And if you're not going to get rid of the coach, you got to get rid of the players. Or
You got to do something.
if you're not going to get rid of the players, you got to get rid of the coach. You can't keep them all.
Yeah.
And they decided to keep the coach. Okay, get different players.
Well, it's going to be very interesting to see the way Omar
Yep.
Khan handles this offseason. Again, we have the draft, we have free agency, we have all kind of things coming up. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm ready to see the encore for what he does. After last year's performance, I was very, very pleased with his aggressiveness.
Yep.
And some of the moves played out, some of the moves didn't play out. But you know what? That's the risky take.
Yeah.
I'm very, very excited to see and see what goes down this year and getting ready and moving forward. So it's gonna be a lot of fun, guys. Columbine starts Thursday, so the ball is still rolling.
I can't wait.
It never really ends in the NFL, and I like that.
It does not.
Pitt basketball back at it tonight. They are at Clemson. Clemson's 19-8. Pitt's 18-9. Games at 7:00 p.m. Guys, Pitt, they need to keep winning these basketball games. They're down to I think 4 games left after this, but they're all big at this point. And then of course you do have the ACC tournament comes up directly after the season. So
Hold on 1 second.
cheer on the Pitt Panthers. Check them out tonight, 7:00 p.m. Also in college basketball, I wanted to ask you guys about this. The big court,
What are you doing?
rushing the court debate that's going on right now. Of course, in the Wake Forest and Duke game over the weekend. Wake Forest upsets Duke. Wake Forest, everybody rushes out on the floor. They're running over basketball players. This, that. Now, the NCAA is threatening to fine the team up to like $1 million. A lot of different scenarios being talked about and going around. This rushing the court has always been a thing in sports. In football,
Yeah.
when a big team wins an upset game. Basketball, same thing. Why all of a sudden I don't know. My whole life, you see this. You never seen the fans run these guys over, and this be a big issue. Why all of a sudden is this an issue now, guys?
Because it happened to Duke.
Yeah.
It really, that's what it is.
Yeah.
You watch him
You know,
stick
you
out
and
his
I
big
never
goofy
agree on
ass
much,
leg
but every
right
once
into
in a
the
while,
kid.
I would
every
agree
once in
on
a
that.
while,
Because it
you'll
happened to
sink a
Duke.
shot, and you sunk a shot on that one. I agree with you 100%.
That's the whole reason. It was Duke. Now everyone's like, "Oh, you need to press charges. You need to arrest everyone."
Fucking
No,
crazy.
this. How about win the game? Win the game.
Win the game. Yeah.
Well, even if you don't win, I think the fans should be able to. Again, this is a tradition thing, and
Yeah,
it's just taking things that are good away from stuff. And I always dug it. Again, I like it in football. I like it in basketball. And just don't be stupid. Don't run people over. For fuck's sake. Come on.
yeah.
We've
Like
been doing
get
this
off
for
the
100
court.
years. I was involved with in high school. There
What?
was a football game, and we'd won a game.
Neat.
We were supposed to win, and it was one of the best feelings in the world to jump
Yeah,
down there and run out there and congratulate your teammates and or your team. And I don't know. I
you can
just kind of
take it.
chalk it up as we're just in a dumb time, man. Come on.
To
But
get
no,
rid of it, what's the point of college basketball?
exactly. That's part of the excitement of this time of the year.
You're right. I couldn't agree more. Pittsburgh Penguins are back in action tonight. They are all the way over in Vancouver. The Penguins come up with a 26-21-8 record. They're taking on the Canucks, who are 38-16-6. That game's at 10 o'clock tonight. Brian Rust, who is red hot, did not make the trip after getting injured in the game 2 nights ago. Penguins in a game that the Penguins scored 2 power play goals versus Philadelphia. Also, Mike Emil Bemstrom, the guy that we did make the
Yep.
trade for over the weekend, scored in his first game
Yeah.
with us against Philadelphia the other night. So that might be a good sign.
It might be a good sign. He's more than I thought he would be. So let's see
Yeah.
if he everyone going down. This jamoke, this bum better step up. Because right now with no Rust, no Gensel, it's gonna be like all Crosby and all Crosby. Hopefully
Yeah.
Raquel can do something, but
And that's such a shame about Brian Russ. He's red hot.
yeah.
He's the hottest player on his team right now.
Yeah, outside, yeah. Like, oh god, this team, like, I don't. They're not going to make the playoffs. I don't think they're going to win this game. Vancouver is just on a different level than we are right now.
Hey P, how you doing, my man? They used to rush the court at NC State if we ever managed to beat Duke or North Carolina in the '90s. Granted, it was rare. No, I get,
Yeah,
but you know what? It is what it is.
yeah.
Rare or not, it's come on. If we're screwing shit up like this, we have to really evaluate what's going on here, because something that's been going on forever. And like you said, if it wasn't this big, tall, white kid from Duke,
Exactly.
nobody would
No
be
one would
talking
care.
about it.
No one
Yep.
would care. But it was Duke, and he's like, "Oh, I felt like this was personal." Duke in their student section, they print out stuffs to yell at players, stuff about their parents, their
Oh, and it's going to
their
be
family
personal
history.
because
But that's not
they beat
personal.
Duke. That's what happens. It's everybody they have a big target on their chest because they're one of the top teams all the time. Yes, it is personal, but you know what? It's not personal. Don't get me wrong. The guy that pushed him, you've seen him like do a pushing motion there at the end, which I thought wasn't cool. So, but take that guy and handle him the way that he needs to be handled. You can't take this out of sports. I think that's insane, especially college sports. This is where it happens. These kids are excitable. They're charged up. And if you upset a team like Duke and you're not a very good team usually, that's exciting.
That's
And
what happens.
come on, Uh, Marc-Andre Fleury on how he gets over letting up a goal, Mike. I don't know if you saw this. Marc-Andre Fleury candidly answered while asked a question. How do you get over giving up an important goal in a game? How do you get your mind right? He says, quote, just stay a little no, it was just sing a little Taylor Swift. Shake it off, Marc-Andre Fleury says to answer that question.
I inspired him.
Flurry.
That's
I
my
love
boy.
It. I love it. That's
I
why.
inspired him.
That's why he is the flower. That's why he is who he is.
I
love it.
Yeah, I do too.
I can hear Marco do shake it off, shake it off.
Yeah, I would love to have Fleury back for one. If you could bring him back for a season, even if what, it's at this point, come on, the guy can still play too. It isn't like you're bringing him back for a fun ride and have him fill in.
Yeah, he would be like the guy outside of like
he's like Marty Brodeur at this point.
Yeah,
let the guy come here and do something for crying out loud. Let him be great. Let him go down as a great Penguin. Don't, come on, bring him back.
As Jari leads the league in shutouts.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
But the other one's the best goalie ever in the game. What do you do? I would take those two guys and figure it out. You know what I mean? Good problems to have. Also, guys, the Bucks, they're back in action today. They play three. I'm sorry. They play somebody. I don't know who they play, but I do know 30 days from today is opening day for the Pirates. Mike, 30 days from today. I know you're going to be down in the stadium.
No.
Waving your foam finger and cheering on your battling Buccos.
No, not at all. I will begrudgingly look at the stat lines because we have to talk about them and read a couple articles.
I believe it's the Braves they play today. They play somebody. Yeah, they play the Braves at 105. I'm sorry.
No, when Bob Nothing cares about the product he puts out on the field, I'll care about the team.
Tamar Johnson, our big, I think he was our number one pick 2 seasons ago. He's like 19 years old.
19.
He goes 2 for 2 yesterday, 2 home runs. So I don't expect to see him in the pros anytime soon.
No. Like him, I would like to see him up by like 2021. His age, not the year. I know what year we're in, but you know what I mean. Bring him up in a year or two. This kid, I'm excited to see him. Put him. I think he plays short, second base. Yeah. Him and O'Neal Cruz in the middle of your field. That's what I want to see. That's when I'll get excited. But, in the Buccos, this kid won't be up until he's 25, 26.
The thing is, they have so much young talent right now. If you think about it, Paul Skeens, Tamar Johnson, Henry Davis, Jared Chirolo, O'Neal Cruz.
But I don't trust this ownership or the front office.
I mean, that's a really promising group of young men. And you would think in a normal situation, they would, eventually build a good team, but you just don't know what the Pirates. You just don't know.
Yeah, I would love to get them up here as fast as they can. You don't want to stunt their development, but you want to kind of accelerate it so they can all get here at a decent time, all play together, kind of like the Cubs did when they went on their little run.
So there you go. 105 today, the Atlanta Braves and the Pirates. Tonight at 7:00 p.m., the Pitt Panthers at Clemson. And tonight at 10:00 p.m., the Penguins at the Canucks. A lot of Pittsburgh sports going on tonight. Mike, why don't you tell everybody about the website, man?
The2dumbyenders.com. Head on over there. We have links to all of our socials over there, merch stores over there, the blogs up over there. Just had a fresh one put up yesterday about the draft, what the Steelers should do, who they should look for in each of the 7 rounds. Go check it out. The2dumbyenders.com. And ESP, they need to get on that Barry Bonds cycle.
I wish. I'm a guy. I'm a big fan of the long ball, which is a political way of saying I don't mind them taking steroids, I guess.
Me either. Like everyone knew they were juicing.
Right. I watch wrestling and I don't give, you watch wrestling, you don't give 2 shits that these guys are putting whatever in their body. It is what it is. They're there to entertain us.
We romanticize pitchers back in the day that doctored the ball and how great they are. But guys want to put a little something extra into their body. Oh no, that's a bridge too far. They all cheat in different ways.
I don't watch wrestling often. However, I've been watching enough lately. You guys know, like, The Rock is back in it. Like, he's in it. Like, he's a wrestler again. Like, not just a promotional guy. Like, he's in big matches coming up and shit.
He weaseled his way into it.
I guess.
He really did. He's on the board now of the company that bought WWE. And he weaseled his way into this whole angle and the fans backlash about it. He wanted to be the big hero, the big baby face. And the fans were like, no, we don't want you. So now he's a big heel and he's hating it. And I love it.
Huh. I did get to see Liv Morgan, though. I watched her wrestle last night. Which was the main reason I watched.
That is the main reason. Liv Morgan.
I just love her.
How can you not? She's a great athlete. She's beautiful.
Also, I forgot to mention
you don't care about your balls. I really don't. Exactly.
Wait, what? I missed it.
Pee about the steroids.
Oh, yeah. I don't give 2 shit about their balls.
I don't care about.
I'd rather them hit home runs for my home team.
Yeah.
I did mention like we were talking about the Pirates. City Connect weekend is the weekend of June 22nd. Every team in the majors is wearing these City Connect uniforms. Yeah. I like it. I think we have the yellow and it says PGH or something on the front, but they also have a Andrew McCutchen City Connect bobblehead that week.
Ooh.
So, guys, if you're interested in getting down
That
to
is tempting.
I agree. I agree. I told you though, I won't play as long as Henry Davis is in the minors, but that is a pretty luring weekend or week or whatever it may be. The week of the 22nd of June, guys. Real quick, Mike, before we do get into our trivia of the day, I have a list real quick. I'm not going to go through all of them, obviously, but these are the 100 most valuable sports teams in the world. The 100 most valuable sports teams in the world. If you want to know where we stand, the top team, the most valuable sports team in the world is the Dallas Cowboys.
Wow.
Wow.
Um, I'll give you the top 10, and then I'll drop down to where we are, and I'll give you a few other notables, and then we'll move on. The second most valuable sports team in the world is the Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors, guys.
Okay.
Then the Knicks, then the Lakers, then the Yankees. That's your top 5. Then the Giants, the LA Rams, Patriots, 49ers, and the Jets round out your top 10 most valuable sports teams in the world.
That's insane.
In this list, it includes all of our 4 major sports. And it also has, I see soccer teams that I don't recognize or understand what they are also in this list. There's a lot of teams here, but the Steelers are the only Pittsburgh team that did land on this list, guys. And they landed the 27th most valuable sports team in the world. The Pittsburgh Steelers are the 27th most valuable sports team in the world.
That's nuts.
Between the Seahawks and the Packers.
I thought God, man, a couple of the soccer clubs would be up higher, like Chelsea and
yeah. I
Real
mean, you
Madrid.
see a bunch on there. I just don't know who they are, unless you really know who you're looking for. The 100th out of the 100 most valuable sports teams in the world, the 100th team, Mike, is the Philadelphia Flyers. The Flyers are the 100th most valuable team in the world.
Ugh.
But we laugh. We failed to mention who's the 41st, the Cleveland Browns. Wow. The Browns are the 41st most valuable sports team in the world.
Wow.
That's wow.
So if you get a chance, check this list out, guys. It's under a hockey, it's called hookedonhockey.com. There's a whole graphic. Nuts. You can pull it up. It's 1 through 100. 100 most valuable sports teams in the world. So pretty cool. All right, guys, today's going to be a combine question. And no, it's not going to be from the combine, the test. This is just a general combine question. You guys ready?
I'm ready.
Derpy, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Here we go. A typical NFL combine invites roughly how many players? I'm going to give you choices, but think it over until I finish here. Guys, the question of the day is, a typical NFL combine invites roughly how many players? Think it over. I will give you choices. We're live, everybody, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, right here every day from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. And if you missed a show or you just rather listen to the show, we take the live show that we do every day and upload it over on Spotify at 8 o'clock p.m. If you're busy, you're at the gym, you're in the car, you just pop in your earbuds, check it out over at Spotify. All right, fellas, the question of the day is this. It's a combine question. I'm going to give you choices, but let me give you the question one more time. A typical NFL combine invites roughly how many players? Here's your choices. A, 100 to 200 players. B, 200 to 300 players. C, 300 to 400 players. Or D, 400 to 500 players. P on the board says 15. A typical NFL combine invites roughly how many players? 100 to 200, 200 to 300, 300 to 400, or 400 to 500 players. Mike, I'm going to start with you today. How many players does the NFL typically invite to the combine?
Go with B.
B, 200 to 300 players.
A. My bad.
100 to 200 players. That's your final answer.
Yeah.
Okay. Derpy, I'm going to come to you. A typical NFL combine invites roughly how many players in the NFL? Is it 100 to 200 players, 200 to 300, 300 to 400, or 400 to 500 players? Derpy. Mike chose A. I see on the board, Ron. Good morning or good afternoon, sir. Also chose A. Looks like P chose A as well. Derpy, what do you think?
I'm going with A.
All right, A. 100 to 200. Question of the day is this: a typical NFL combine invites roughly how many players? Everybody said A, 100 to 200 players. Ron, Derpy, P, Mike. And of course, the answer, guys, is C, 300 to 400
Wow.
players. Annually, 300 to 400 players are invited by the NFL to participate in the combine. So there you have it, guys.
That's nuts.
Who knew?
Learned something new. I didn't know that.
Learned something new. Yep.
You know. But yeah, go check out the website, everybody, www.the2wninjas.com. Mike puts a lot of work into it over there, and there's a lot of great things. So go check it out. Mike, anything before we start getting ready to wrap it up?
I got nothing. I literally got nothing today. There's nothing real exciting other than I got to go play bubbles once we're done here.
Oh, that's all right.
That's
Derpy has
fine.
bubble guts. He'll be shitting himself before you. You feeling better, Derpy?
Yes, I'm feeling better.
All right. What was it? Your stomach?
My stomach. Yep.
Yeah. That was just a start for me. It moved the whole way around my body. It was insane. How you feeling, Mike? You still sound shitty.
I'm great other than not having a voice.
Yeah. I do want to say thank you to everybody for checking us out. We appreciate each and every one of you, as always. We wouldn't do it without you. Also, everybody on the board, we certainly appreciate you guys every day. These guys always help keep things interesting. I also did want to give a couple plugs from some friends in the business. If you like to listen to sports radio here in Pittsburgh, in the Pittsburgh area, on Tuesday and Wednesdays, Tuesday evening from 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock p.m. is the Sports Corner with Ralph Williams. Ralph talks about sports. His co-host Smoke and Jim is always there with him to talk about all the Pittsburgh sports and much, much more. He is on at 4 o'clock p.m. to 6 o'clock p.m. every Tuesday on WBVP Radio right here in Beaver County. We have an app. You could always download the app, listen to the shows. You could go online to the website at beavercountyradio.com, or also you could go to Facebook or YouTube because they are both on live. The second one is One Man's Opinion on Sports with Brian Pasquale. That is on Wednesday from 5 o'clock p.m. to 6 o'clock p.m. All the same connections, all the same places. A lot of the times you see the guys on here. Some of the guys on here will be hanging out. Ralph and Brian does come in sometime and engage in conversation with us. So if you like things they have to say, go check them out. Again, Brian Pasquale is Wednesday. One Man's Opinion, 5 to 6. Ralph Williams is the Sports Corner. He's on Tuesdays from 4 to 6. Check him out. Really easy to get to. Facebook, YouTube, just type in WBVP, Beaver County Radio. And I do want to say thank you to them as well. I did want to give those plugs because last week we did get the plugs as well on their shows, but we were sick and down and out, and I may have forgot. I don't even know if I mentioned them guys when we were on. So a lot of cool stuff. Go check them out. They're good guys. They could use the support. Mike.
I still got nothing except for thanks for checking us out. I really appreciate it.
All right. Derpy.
Let's go Pens. Let's go Panthers.
No Bucks? No Let's Go Pirates?
No.
Yep. No.
Ron said he's suing the trick question.
Make a Beaver Cleaver.
Beaver Cleaver. If you want, I could.
One by.
Yeah, I'm just trying to go down through. I'm trying to go through the comments real quick before we go. I don't want to miss anything. As soon as we get off the air, I'll look. I'm like, oh, we should have addressed that. All right. Yeah, guys, like I said, thank you though for always keeping it nice. I do see that Ron mentioned Derpy. How was your Kennywood trip?
Throwing up. There you go.
Throwing up. That's how I would imagine your trip to the amusement park would be. I don't know why, I just do. I could give us a little bit of a send off into the day by singing what I usually say. For Mike at the Steeler Studio at Derby. No Tiny Tim.
No, Tiny Tim.
All right. So for everybody, for Mike at the I'm sorry, not the Beaver County, the Steeler Central Mobile Studio. I'm reading two things. I'm talking, and or you could, yeah. So Mike at the Steeler Central Mobile Studio, Derpy, myself, little tongue tied right now. Everybody have a great day. We got a lot of Pittsburgh sports to talk about tomorrow. Don't forget, check out the Penguins, Pirates, and the Pitt Panthers tonight. And we'll be back first thing tomorrow to do it all over again. Everybody have a great day. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.